Welcome to MTN Outdoors.
Sometimes I think we forget just how good we have it here in Montana. People come from all over the world to hunt our big game species. But if you're asking me, the one that's easiest to find is also the hardest to hunt with the bow and arrow.
At first glance, the wide open spaces that span our state can look as empty as the surface of the moon. But for the lucky archery hunters who have an antelope tag, that couldn't be further from the truth. Grab a good pair of binoculars, and their silhouette can betray them pretty quickly against the backdrop of barbed wire and prickly pear. Just because you can pick them out, though, don't start thinking you can easily pick them off. Getting close enough to make your archery tackle effective isn't a walk in the park.
Yeah, these guys are athletes.
Products of a different time, the current antelope evolved to survive alongside and hopefully just a little out in front of predators like the now extinct American cheetah.
Pronghorn can run at speeds easily over 35 miles an hour, and some reports have them going as fast as 60.
Speed is the least of a hunter's worries, though.
Their eyesight has been compared to be roughly the equivalent of a human looking through an 8-power binocular. Their eyes are set to the side of their head, and what that gives them is a wide range of view. They can see about 300 degrees around without having to turn their head.
And if you find those facts interesting, get ready to have your mind blown, because these animals are not even actual antelope. If this piece of information comes as a shock to you, don't feel too bad about it. You're not the first person to make that mistake.
Even the legal definition of this animal is that it's classified as an antelope. And the reason why people probably originally started calling it an antelope is if you compare it to some of the African antelope, they look very similar. They could easily be, transposed pretty easily just on their appearance alone. But they are a pronghorn. They're a different creature. The headgear that they have is not like a bighorn sheep. A bighorn sheep has a horn, and it is persistent. It stays there, it continues to grow for its entire length of its life. It's not like an antler. And so pronghorn are different in that they have a horn sheath, but they do shed it annually, and they regrow the sheath every year.
So speed and sight make hunting these very unique creatures during archery season an uphill battle to say the least. But if you're looking for a challenge and willing to put in the miles, the pursuit can be rewarding.
A lot of people really don't have the opportunity to really connect with kind of the wildlife experience that you have when you're pursuing things at that time of the year.
Even if it ends with an empty freezer, which is more than likely.
One thing we know is that the proportion of hunters that are successful in actually harvesting an antelope really an awful lot lower for archers than it is for rifle hunters.
But you know what they say, it's called hunting, not getting.